What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, GoBlack2Africa. Peace and blessings to each and every one of y'all as you all come in. How are y'all doing today? As I may ask, do you all hear me and can you all see me? I don't see anything in the comment section. Oh, I see what's up now. Feet, Funkerson. How's it going there? I hope all is well with you and those that are coming in. I know let me know if this connection is a little sketchy, skippy, choppy, what have you. But so that I will know if I'm going to continue in this this broadcast here. But how's everybody doing? Everybody's okay? Peachy King, Peachy Queen. I'm doing well today, Omar. I'm doing well. Shalom to you, Letitia. I guess Letitia? Tia. Excuse me. I speak English and my pronunciation is really bad. What's up there, Abdul Osman? How are you doing? Put Tamika in the He House from Houston. Looks good, Black Empowerment says. All right, great. Family, you know, I must say that I am pretty moved that the Washington Post mentioned my channel in a write-up that you see that is that they did yesterday of the title, "The Case for Leaving America to Escape Racism." You know, the movement is on. Many are going to visit, many are channeling or chartering over to different places around the globe. People are realizing in damn America, things are getting pretty tight. Prices are going up. Expenses are out of the sky. And what do you do in order to survive? You know, people are trying to come up with very interesting ways on how to save that dollar. Now, you've heard me say before that I believe one place that you can do such a thing in saving a dollar or some pennies is in the motherland of Africa. Because the motherland of Africa, in 54 countries that it has, you can find countries there that will help you in that saving that dollar. How are they going to do that? Of course, by the cheap cost of living. Now, there are some places that you're going to find that prices are definitely going up because where the more of the demand, the more the prices will go up. But there is more room out here to wiggle than a stick at. And my thing is that everybody wants to go. Majority of the people are going to Ghana. And though I bought me an apartment there in Ghana, prices still you can find outside of the city, very reasonable. You still can buy land for about $1,200 for a quarter acre there outside near the Elmina area. The Cebu land that is out there, it's a couple of hours, 2 hours and a half away from Accra. But even the outskirts, whether it may be Tima, Pram, whether you are going up near Abri, you can still find some properties very reasonable in price. But be careful because you got to do your own work and you best be connected with somebody who is connected to somebody that is trustworthy, and you can be assured that the property that you are buying is legit. But in saying that, doesn't mean that you have to go buy, because you can always rent. You know, it blows my mind that you can still rent. I'm in Uganda, y'all. An apartment that I'm staying in right now, a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, living room, dining room, runs about $300 a month. $300 a month. It still blows my mind. You know, my dear brother, he got tired of paying the high price because they was about to go up almost $200 on his rent. He's paying $1,300 for a 1-bedroom apartment. I spent time at his apartment there. This year I was there in Texas, and he got fed up. He said, man, I'm done with this. I'm going to go. He said, I can't even just go out here and buy me a house. because the houses done skyrocketed, the interest rate done skyrocketed. So the house that you could even afford has skyrocketed because of the interest rate. The interest rate used to be 2 point something percent last year at this time, and it sits about 6.25 of 6%, 6.75% right now. Do you know the math on that in a house? It's crazy. Do you know what my brother did? Let me show you what he did. He said, man, I got to find me something, man, I got to do, man, because I can't even find it for these houses out here. This is what my brother wound up doing right here. This is what my brother wound up doing. And I kind of chuckled and laughed, but it really opened my mind up to how things are really getting. Where my brother at? Let me show you what my brother did. He said, forget this. He went and bought him. He bought him a truck and an RV. He lives at an RV park for $700 a month. He was paying $1,300 a month, and he realized that they were going to go up $200 more. He was going to be paying $1,500. He said, man, I can't do this, man. I'm just not going to do it, man. So he bought him an RV that he is at an RV park. And I say that really not laughing at my brother, but it was to a point that he said, I got to do something beyond this giving away. That's $18,000 in an for an apartment. He bought this for $30,000 for his truck and $32,000 for his RV. And though I would have done differently, because I've been trying to get him over to Africa, I said, man, you could have bought you a house here. But he doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave. So he spent $62,000 on his property, and he found that it works for him. And I'm rooting for him and wish my brother the best, because if he is seeing the cost of living go up and he decided to take a different way or cheaper way of living, what about those who don't even have that opportunity? Because we know that people are coming in and starting to now divide up their houses, trying to rent some of the extra rooms out. People are trying to, live with one another. Children are moving back home. The costs are getting so expensive. People got to figure out what they can do. And it's sad that it's gotten to that. Here in Africa, I talk to the locals and I ask them about the inflation. Oh, yeah, things have gone up. But do you know what? Not for us. The American dollar, $1. I'm right here in Uganda right now. $1 can buy me a meal. I'm talking a meal to fill you up. If I wanted to live off of the local prices out here on the street. I told y'all when I was in Tanzania, I just left Tanzania. I can buy a meal for 97 cents. Look, it cost me 2,000 shillings. Let me show y'all this right here. See, because I want y'all to know, see, I'm just trying to help some people out. I think I got this video here. I videotaped when I never put it up on. I got so many videos that I just want to share y'all this right here. Let me see if I got this video here. I was out eating lunch, and sometimes, I go out here and I eat, like the locals do, because my thing is that I have to begin to remove myself out of comfortability and live in certain ways and get myself developed and living like a local. Now I can afford spending a lot of money each day on food, but sometimes I challenge myself. Let's see if I got this video here for y'all. Let me see here. Let me show y'all this right here. Y'all gonna enjoy this right here because I'm just trying to show what can we do. So many people are listening to other people. Let me get my other phone. So many people are listening to other people or listening to people who mislead them, that they are not even able to figure out what is best for them. Let me see if I got this video here. I know I got this video on here somewhere. No, that's not it. Because we need to get to an understanding that if you continue to do the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same results. That really tells on you and where you are, and really how crazy are we? How crazy are we when we are going to be scratching and surviving, and yet we're not making the best financial moves that we should? Now, in society, I do know that it's an up and down system. Things go up, things go down. We just happen to be on a downturn in the system. My thing is, are you able to benefit off of it? I cannot believe, I know I got this video. Let me see something here. I know I got this video. I got so many videos. I don't even know where's what. Okay. What am I in? Let me get out of that first and foremost. And let me get into this right here. So my thing is, if we are not going to really start being wise with our money, then you're going to have to suffer the consequences. We're going to have to suffer the consequences. Let me see here. I'm trying to think, man, I move so much, man. It's kind of tough. What country am I in on this one? My goodness. Okay. Let's see here. That ain't it. Let's see here. We're going to figure this out, family. We're going to figure this out, because I know that, the Washington Post put out the article, and I'm going to read a little bit of the article and have you hear the one and only they mentioned in their article, GoBlack2Africa. And I was moved by that because of the fact that there's things happening with thousands of brothers and sisters that mainstream is not going to talk about. I did video on why they said, why are Americans, it was white people that are talking about leaving America, going and getting housing or businesses in other countries. And if you are not in different places on the media stream, you may miss out on a lot of things. Oh, 1 second here. Okay, I guess I know I got that video somewhere. I know I got that video. It's just that I got so much, I'm just missing it. I'm missing it somewhere. But we have to okay, because I'm about solutions. What do you do then? Go back. What do we do? I'm broke, busted, and disgusted. I have nothing to show. My back is against the wall. How do I start? How do you start? Cut the fat. What do you mean cut the fat? You are going to have to get to a place to find out where your money goes. Do you know we spend and waste so much money, we don't even know where we spend it. If you eat out at least 3 times a week, just add up how much that costs a month. That money you could be putting away. If you like to go out and entertain yourself, and party once a weekend, and you turn up and all that right there, and you go pop your champagne bottles, and you spend your money on, you need to add that up. You really need to add that up, because if you're not adding up where your money is going, then you will never have a beginning. You will never have a beginning. And this is where we need to tighten up our finances. That's why I say the 70-30% rule. Live off 70%, put 30% away. Let the 30% be your freedom papers from the system. Let that money only be used to 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 bring you money, and not you spend it on something that's going to take the money. It should be something, putting that money into a business, putting that money in maybe to some property, putting that into something that can give you a return somewhere down the road, something that is not necessarily going to depreciate. Yes, people do lose businesses. People do go out of business, go bankrupt. Yes, they do. But at least you are putting your money towards something to bring you a return. Okay, I don't think I'm going to find this video that I was looking for. Hold on a second. Let me try one other place. Maybe I deleted it or something. I'll be doing some crazy stuff like that too. I'll be deleting so many videos. But because I want to just show y'all. Let's see here. Nah, that's not it. Okay, I'm gonna let the video go. I can't find it because I was showing in this video that how much it costs for a meal here in Africa. 97 cents over in Tanzania it cost. What the locals eat. I'm in Uganda right now, and I still can get away with $2-3 for what a local eats. I still can rent a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment for $300 right here in Uganda. No, I haven't made it to Mozambique yet. Be there within a month. Yeah. Send me an email, Experience Liberia, to GoBlack2Africa@gmail.com to connect with me. If you're there, it'd be great to have some connections there for people maybe to show me different places. So my thing is that we got to get out of this mindset of this land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands. We got to get out thinking that, oh, well, this is my home. America gonna show you whose home it really is here shortly, because the squeeze is on. Game being played against the common man. I don't care if you're black, white, or whoever, and you in America, I'm telling you, this game right now, by seizing people's properties, by these bogus loans that they're putting out, like Bank of America. Bank of America got a loan program that is for Hispanics and blacks. Well, what's the name of it? It's called a community. It's called the community. Where'd you go? It's like the community home loan for blacks and Hispanics people. And let me tell you this right here. In this time of you wanting to purchase a house for 6%, you're going to be very shocked to see how much of your mortgage is going to be, because of the fact that you'll spend an extra $800 a month on a mortgage when the interest rate was lower last year. If you don't know how to decide on what's better to rent or to buy, you can get yourself in some serious financial trouble. It ain't by chance, coincidence, or accident that Bank of America has decided to come up with this program. You see, programs are not necessarily meant to help you. You see, banks are in the business of making money, not losing money. And they already know the statistical data of the probabilities of blacks and Hispanics in the longevity of their ownership of a home to before they will sell, or house has to be repossessed, where the banks can take over. See, the banks didn't used to get into the housing market. They would only give the loans because they don't want to have property sitting on their books. But housing has become such a profit that banks now are interested in trying to make returns off these houses. What better way is to put people who are low income to get in houses that you can create for them to fail in. You take the house and resell it and make a good, profitable margin off of your return. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. You see, because the average person, because they say they're not going to check your credit score. Credit score doesn't have an impact on it. What they want to check is your rental history. They want to see if you paid your car note maybe on time or your utility bills. If you're paying these on time, these would be sufficient enough to show that you have a good track record into purchasing a house. But here's the problem. You see, the problem of home ownership is it's different than renting an apartment. That many people who's never bought a house before, they don't take in consideration. When you purchase a house, there are financial obligations that you don't foresee that will happen to a house. What do you mean? Well, when you rent an apartment, you ain't got to worry about when the refrigerator breaks, the stove breaks, the washing machine breaks, you get a leak in your ceiling, something happens and breaks and tears up on the house. See, you as a renter don't have to worry about that. But when you are a homeowner, there are expenses like keeping the lawn cut. You may be in a neighborhood where you have to pay HOA, that's homeowners association fees. You might have to be paying the upkeep of things that are within the house of maintenances that go on. You will be paying probably more for your utility bill because you're in a bigger space that you need to keep warm and cold. You're going to have to pay more for a water bill because you probably have a washing machine. You probably have more than one bathroom, 2 or 3 bathrooms, where now you have people are operating more in these places. You might even decide to wash your own car and you're using more water. See, these expenses, very few people think about. But here is even the worst part about it. Yeah, I know y'all know. That's the property taxes. You see, at any given time, when they come around every 3 years or so, this is what cities do. They will do a property assessment on the value of your house. And if they deem necessary that the value of your house gone up, and they want to always say it does because that means that's more tax money for them, then that means your property taxes will go up, which means then what? Your mortgage goes up. Go Black, I thought mortgages was fixed. The loan is fixed. It's the taxes that are attached to the mortgage will give you the full amount of your mortgage rate. But this is the problem that Black people do. They say, oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pay my taxes at the end of the year. I'm going to pay my taxes at the end of the year. Well, silly fool you. I would not recommend ever doing that. You see, because you want to take that little extra money, that maybe that $200 extra a month in property taxes that you might have to pay, and that's being really small and cheap because taxes for $200 a month is in a place probably out in the country somewhere. But I would say the property tax that I've last paid, well, let me say this right here, because I rent a house, because it's conducive for me to rent where I live at. The property tax that the people pay for that property is $800 and something a month. So when they decide to increase your taxes, well, what happens? Because if you're going to decide to pay at the end of the year, where are you going to get that $9,600 from when it's time to be paid? And this is what really get people in trouble. Because they say, don't attach it to my mortgage. I'll pay that at the end of the year because you're so cheap and skimpy that you rather go ahead and try to use that 200, 300, 800, 500, 1,000, whatever it might be, to go ahead and have extra for your enjoyment. When it comes at the end of the year, now you're waiting for tax return, hopefully that you can pay those taxes, and so many people fall short. So then what happens? Because we're talking about Why are people even leaving America, or why are Black folks leaving? Not just for racism, as the Washington Post wrote in their newspaper article, but also these are some things that people are finding out, that there are cheaper ways of living, especially for you all who work from home. I don't get why y'all not in another country. You work from off the internet and all that right there. All you need is a good Wi-Fi, and you can do your work, and you can save your cost of your expenses tremendously by not being in America paying your $1,500 rent when you can be paying $300 rent, saving you probably $1,200 a month, which was like what, $14,000 a year. Many people don't want to hear about this, but this is why many people are leaving America. And for those who haven't woken up, you'll be on the outside looking in. Why am I here stuck in a mess that I'm on the edge of homelessness? But anyway, let me go ahead and try to bring up this article here. Read a quick of this article that they even mentioned me in, that I'm thankful that they were even able to want to consider me as a source. It's a very long article. Let me see if I can put this. Let me put this link in, and y'all can go ahead and see it for yourself. Let me put this in the chat. See if that goes through there. Y'all check out that article right there. But basically, it's talking about those who are leaving because of racism. And then the article goes on to explain. Let me go over here to this spot right here. It's a long article. It talks about a lot of stuff from the beginning of time of slave trade on down to police brutality. These are the things that they have interviewed people and why they have left America. And then they begin to mention different people, whether it's on social medias, whether celebrities have come to visit Africa, whether it's the year of return in Ghana. They mention even some of the talk shows that have mentioned people going over into Africa. Let me get to the part of where they mention yours truly. Let's just start right up here. It says this right here. Celebrities have been part of the trend. In 2020, the singers and actors Ludacris announced on Instagram that he had become a citizen of Gabon, a country in Central Africa. Actor Samuel Jackson also became a citizen of Gabon after he took a DNA test that showed he was connected to the country Binga tribe. It was spiritually uplifting to connect with the tribe and to look down and see my relatives, and to be welcomed by some people that look at me like come home, Jackson told the Daily Show host Trevor Noah. In 2021, singer Stevie Wonder announced he was moving to Ghana. I'm quite sure y'all remember that one. During an interview with Oprah Winfrey, he explained that his decision was prompted by the recent political climate in America. I don't want to see my children, quote, children's children have to say, oh, please, like me, please respect me, please know that I am important, please value me. The U.S. State Department's Bureau of Consular Affairs says it does not keep track of the number of Americans who have moved out of the country. U.S. citizens are not required to register their presence abroad, and we do not maintain comprehensive lists of U.S. citizens residing overseas. A State Department spokesperson wrote to me, estimates of U.S. citizens in particular, countries can vary and are constantly changing. We do not want to provide figures that cannot be considered authoritative. I can't say that. Authoritative. But online, one can find growing communities that are sharing stories of what they sometimes call the Blacksit. An example, Black Exit. The YouTube channel GoBlack2Africa has posted dozens of videos interviewing African Americans who've moved to Africa. A video from the African Web YouTube channel titled "Why Are So Many African Americans Moving to Ghana" have been viewed over 217,000 times. Then they go on to mention in 2021, Tim Swain, a poet and educator who moved from the Indiana to Ghana, told a YouTube channel, Adana Network, that the first time he visited Ghana in 2007, he was transformed. Quote, as a Black person, then in 2014, he was to join peaceful protests in Missouri after the police killings of 18-year-old Michael Brown. The attacks on protesters left him shaken. A few months later, he traveled to Ghana again. It was like a juxtaposition of America, where I am feeling like the bottom of the bottom, reminded every day that I am a Black person that is a stain on a fabric of America. Swain recounted, I come to Ghana where I literally exist as a human being. I have no conscience about the color of my skin. Every time I came to Ghana, it became literally harder and harder to return to the US. After about 2 years of planning, he and his wife moved to Ghana in 2019. Rashad McCrory, who owns a travel company that organizes tours to Africa, told BNC, America Black News Channel, that he was traveling in Ghana in 2020. When the pandemic hit the United States, he decided to stay. It's been an amazing experience, he said. In America, we deal a lot with racial oppression, systematic oppression, whether it's redlining, the prison industrial complex. But what I appreciate most about being in Africa is that I just wake up every day and being a man. Now, this is just part of that article, family. That's just part of the article of many accounts and recollections and interviews that so many of us have, that people, when they come to the motherland, it just does something to you. I've said before, when you come to Africa, you no longer are a Black man. You know what I find interesting is that most of the countries that have been colonized by Britain, or typically Britain, the Africans refer to themselves as Black. And it's only because they had that push and the agenda to differentiate the people behind a skin color. Now, we know that Europe has colonized all of Africa. But you have other African countries that they refer to themselves either African or according to their tribe. So my thing is, do yourself a favor and go and read that article in Washington Post, which I put the link in the chat, and check it out, that your man was mentioned in the article, that I take very serious and I'm thankful that I was recognized as being a channel that has interviewed African Americans to show our brothers and sisters out here that there are so many people that are leaving America, settling in Africa, or visiting Africa for small stints of time to live, to understand, to explore, to experience, might go back to America and be able to at least have an experience, to be able to consider or make way, get their monies together, maybe get the business or something together, whatever it might be for those people to get in order, and they come back. You see, there's more than one way to skin a cat. I tell people, you don't have to just uproot and leave America. Just go and travel around the globe. Just check out some countries that may give you a different sense of peace, a different sense of respect, a different sense of humanity, that we can appreciate the rest of our lives instead of fighting against systems that are in place that are just not going to be moved. And yet we will feel as though that the time we spent on earth trying to prove that you are a man, a woman, and that you don't have to be judged by the color of your skin, you can find it in various countries around the world. Facts are facts. Let me go ahead and let y'all in right here. So I'm inviting y'all in. So, there again, like I said, I am thankful that I was mentioned in the Washington Post, and that I'm honored behind that, being the fact that I put this work in, y'all. I put this work in. A lot of people, they appreciate the work that I put in, because my thing is that, separated from my wife, my children, and I believe what I am doing is for a good, for a people. And I hope that each person finds that peace, that freedom that they're searching for. For when I see people protest and march that I've seen that has been going on for over 60, 70 years, and little to much have changed, I don't want to see our youth exhaust the same energy and get little to nowhere. And there'll be another man or woman like myself out here talking about it's a waste of time, y'all. It's a waste of time. Just those who are in power is just not going to let it go and look at you as one that should be one equitably compensated for what was put upon us as a people. Let me say this right here. For those who are calling in, you got to show your face. This is the Dope Channel, y'all. I don't like people coming in and sometimes I like to see who I'm talking to. So Don, please. And Don, he went and removed himself. So, because my thing is this right here. I don't know who's behind what. And sometimes, some people are bold behind the silhouette. And so get yourself together, put on your shirt, put on your outfit or whatever it might be to be decent and call in if you so choose to. But it's a real thing happening that people are leaving. This ain't just the only article that has been done. There has been a news release from some of a couple of the network channels that did talk about Black Americans leaving America, going over into Africa. So let's let some guests come on in here. Matthew, how is it going, my brother?
What's going on, Mr. GoBlack2Africa?
What's good with you, man?
Hey, man, ain't
Where are
nothing
you?
happening, man.
You still in Africa?
I am. I'm in Rwanda right now, just kind of hanging out here, trying to get a lay of the land and trying to do what they quoted you about in that Washington Post article. See about this mad exit out of the motherland, not into the motherland.
Yeah. Please share, man, what you have on your mind, and even maybe some of your experiences. Family. I ran into my brother and his wife there in South Africa, and they shaking, rocking, and rolling. And I leave it up to him to share whatever he wants to share. But yeah, and they now over in Rwanda. So yeah, please share a little bit and educate people on maybe some things that you've been experiencing.
Well, it's just been really a journey. And, it started here on YouTube, watching some of the other content creators. And I would just suggest anybody who's thinking about making that move, of course, you got to get out there and get your boots on the ground to check things out. So, yeah, when I ran into you, we're in South
Mm-hmm.
Africa, looking around there and did buy something there. So that
Mm-hmm.
might be a part-time place. And been looking around here as well and didn't really find anything yet, but I do
Mm-hmm.
like the country here, a lot different vibe. And I
Mm-hmm.
imagine, you've been around more countries than me, but I imagine 54 countries is 54 different vibes and 54
Yes.
different ways of living. So, you can
Yep.
find whatever it is that you're looking for. But as you indicated, and probably many of the people in that article indicated, is definitely a better way of life, a cheaper way of life, an easier flow. Here, your money stretches a lot further here for
Mm-hmm.
sure. We looked at a place here last week. It was 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, like $500 a month, to rent the place. So
Mm-hmm.
just it's so many different opportunities. And for sure, don't come over here trying to get a job. You need to come over here with your job and,
Mm-hmm.
work remotely from here or start a business or something like that is what I would suggest for sure.
So, you may mention that what moved you and your wife to want to purchase property?
It was more about investment, I tell you. In our situation, this is a kind of coming to the close of the careers and all of that. And I just sold some property in the States, and the money had been sitting in an account earning 0.000000001%
Yeah,
interest. And
yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to buy something here, there in the States because, as you mentioned, the prices are high, the interest rates are getting high, and it just, in terms of a sound financial investment, it's about selling high and buying low, and
Mhm.
selling there and then buying somewhere where the prices, your money goes much further. It just made good investment sense. So this place is going to be a place that'll be rented out while we're still getting settled and deciding where to go. And, the kids too. Kids, if they want to be able to visit the continent, they'll have some place to hang their hat if
Awesome,
they want to as well.
awesome, awesome. Let's talk about, man. Are the taxes killing you in this property you purchased there in South Africa?
No, I mean the
What's the
whole.
tax like? I mean, give
Well,
somebody maybe ballpark. They ain't got to be exact, but
yeah, I mean when you are, yeah, South Africa is probably the closest thing to what's going on in the West in terms of the buying process. Even some of the real estate companies are the same in South Africa as they are in the United States. So that process is a little smoother in terms of taxes. Yes, because this is an investment property, I'm going to have to pay taxes on any earnings that I have there. And I forgot what it is. It was, I don't know, 16% is coming to mind in terms of taxes on the
I was talking
earned
about more
income.
the
Yeah,
property tax.
property tax. Don't quote me. I'm not a real estate attorney, but I don't recall any property taxes like that. And I also was looking. I know you, I think, have been doing some stuff in Ghana, so looking over there as well, and I don't recall anything like that where it's this ongoing after you own your property that you still co-own it with the government. Where they
Yeah.
can still not only tax you, and that tax varies depending on the assessed value of your property, but they can also come in and take your land if they want to build a highway or
You're
a
talking about in
bridge.
America.
And
About in
in
America.
America, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's what I'm talking about. So there are so many ways in which you think you own it. Not to mention, a lot of folks, when they get those loans, think they own the house, and that's really the bank that owns it. But after you pay for it, yes, you're right. The government can still come in and claim that property for something and snatch it right back from you. So I don't see that as much on the continent in my limited research.
Hmm. What's your thoughts of Rwanda? Share with people your thoughts on Rwanda.
Well, I gotta say, man, this place is, it's cleaner. First of all, a lot of people say that, and I definitely recognize that. But I also recognize the community here, man. And, because we've been Kigali, of course, but we spent some time up in Musanze and then Gassini up off of Lake Kivu and Lake Barrera. Spent some time there as well. Lady Visionary's place there, and
Did you
it's
connect with
just
Collins up there?
Colin. Stayed with Colin up in Musanze. Yes, yes, yes,
Hmm.
definitely, and all good, and all just embracing. I'm here to tell you, you can find your tribe, you know, probably anywhere in the motherland, but I definitely felt that the arms of Rwanda, local and the diasporans, embracing us as we moved around here. And I don't know, that vibe I felt here more so than in SA. Not to say it didn't exist there, but it seemed like there was more of a hustle bustle there, and here it's more of a, this whole community feel. But yeah, so that, and it was less like there's no as many fast food restaurants. I think I happened to see a KFC here. I didn't go there, but just about all the fast food restaurants and all that stuff were there. In SA, I didn't see as much of that here,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
again, whatever you're looking for. Kigali reminds me could be any big city USA. That could be downtown Chicago, downtown LA. And then as you get out of the inner city, things slow down a little bit. In Musanze, things were a lot slower, which happens to be more of my vibe and off of Lake Kivu. That happens to be more of my vibe. But opportunities, man, you can't walk down the street without tripping over an opportunity. It's just so much available things to do. I mean, my head just is spinning. It's spinning, in terms of what to invest in, what to do here in this country. And I don't even know what that is yet, but I just know something's going to pop off here as well.
Yeah. A lot of people, they're always wanting to know about those business ventures and stuff that they can do. And I say it's just so much. I mean, I believe that really majority of the things you come here and see, your mind, like you said, your mind is going to be going 1,000 miles an hour to do it differently or to do it in different ways than what they do here, which I see it as a win-win situation because Africa is really looking for differences, I think so many people do the same thing that it affords you to come in and do it differently, and that's
Yeah.
where I see. So how long you left there in Rwanda?
I am leaving out tomorrow. I've been here for 30 days. So
All righty.
tomorrow is it. Heading back,
Okay.
man.
Heading back. Well, good, brother. I tell you, man, tell the wife I said hello and I'm glad you came and called in, man. Safe travels to you. And until next time, man, hey, until we meet again, man, I'm quite sure, man, you're going to hold it down. So, hey, brother, do
Hey.
what you do.
All right, go black. Holla at you, man.
All right, bro. So,
Peace.
yeah, family, hey, that brother right there, him and his wife stepped into Africa and said, you know what? We're going to partake in the opportunities that are here. It ain't cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars to go purchase their property. Not at all, but it was them doing diligent of the things they were while they were in America to afford them that. You see, that's why I've been trying to share with people that, what you're doing where you stand now is an indication what you will do while you come to Africa, while you go to another country. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't come over into Africa and start something new. But if you don't have the go ahead, the get go, if you don't have the motivation to go ahead and do for self, you're going to find it very challenging to come to Africa because you ain't coming here to take somebody's job, even though there are places I've found like Liberia that you will be hired. Ghana, you can get a job depending on the field that you're in. There are different jobs that you can do. If you're in medical field and you are in technology, if you're in things like that, you'll be able to. But really, the first and foremost thing is if entrepreneur. Link is back in the chat, family, for those who want to come in because I put this out here because that the article that the Washington Post had written up, they mentioned me about many people are leaving America because of racism, what have you. Everybody has their different story. Everybody has their different reason. People see opportunities. People see a place to get out, to explore and maybe do for themselves. But this right here is the article that Washington Post put out. The case for leaving America to escape racism. And it goes on and it talks about the various things of people leaving who has been affected or who's decided to come and all that right there. So the link is, and did I put the link in the chat? Yeah, the link is in the chat. Those who have a question for me, those who may be wanting to pick my brain, those who wants an idea, call in. It's for free. I charge $195 for a consultation for an hour. So I'm on here, so I'm giving it away for free. Whatever you want, it's $125 if it's for 30 minutes. I think it's $125, $75 for 15 minutes, I think it is. And I came down on the price. I came down on the price because I knew that there are brothers and sisters who was not going to pay my first $400 that I had per hour. that I really should have kept it at that, because I'm inundated with consultations, and I said I really didn't want to do them, but I do understand the role that I play. There are people who are really interested and wanting to come visit or to relocate to Africa. Where can I have a dual citizenship? I don't know. I know Sierra Leone, you can. Well, I say I don't know. Sierra Leone, you can. I read the article that Gabon, you can. Ghana, you can. For the most part, you got to look up the country to find, can you get that dual citizenship? I myself personally am not really um, pushing dual citizenship at this time, because I want to settle in the place at the time. But I have a residency. I have a residence in residency in Tanzania, a driver license there in Tanzania. So I don't per se really need, even though it would help me traveling through Africa, because these visa prices, it will definitely defray the cost. Most definitely defray the cost and expenses. But there's a lot of requirements of you if you're trying to get a citizenship. Sometimes it takes years to even get one. You know, those countries that I mentioned, whether it was Sierra Leone, whether it's Gabon, these places out here are dependent upon if you got a DNA to show and prove that you have a connection with any one of the tribes that they have listed, that you can get a citizenship. Going the typical route will probably take you time. So I'm putting a link back into the chat there. If anybody got any questions, I am here. You can write your question down. You can call in and ask a question. You got a comment, you got a motivation and encouragement to the people in your travels, your experience. It don't even have to be Africa. Share with the people. People are looking for answers. Residency for how long? 2 years. Yes, it is. 2 years is for my residency. And that's the going, really, when you get a residency. Then you got to renew it, and you go ahead and go for another 2 years. Some have it to where if you're there in the country for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of years, then you can apply for citizenship. If you're doing business, what have you in there. Is it true about the United States of Africa? You know, there are talks about the unification of Africa. Ghana's president just came out and made mention of unifying of Africa. We're going to see if the West is going to attack him. But there's been many efforts in talking about the United States of Africa. That is a hard challenge, but I'm quite sure they will be able to figure out how they can do such a thing. But there are those who will be very upset, and they will try to dismantle it before it gets off the ground, just like any movement or efforts on what Black Americans have done in America. Every attempt have been dismantled by the government. You're welcome, Warren Henderson. Let me see here. Please put a question mark in front of your sentence or after your sentence to catch my eye, so I'm able to answer your question. Those are who have answers, questions that want to call in. You are more than welcome to call in. Yeah, let's see here. Okay. I'm looking for questions. Okay, so now I'm caught up. You're welcome, Sydney. You're welcome. You love Yah. Thank you. Yep. Much love to you. Amen. All that. When am I returning to Ghana? I love your videos. I'm not sure. It'll be sometime shortly. Short to come. Where would you recommend first-time travel to Africa for solo female travelers? You know, I'm going to say Ghana, because Ghana has a direct flight from New York, and they got a direct flight. I think there's a couple. I think Atlanta, Georgia, may have a direct flight. Washington D.C. I think there's 3, but people like to call it a soft landing. Getting into a place that you're maybe a little familiar with, on landing into a place to where it's not a culture shock, as they say. But yeah, I'd say Ghana, because then there are those where you have the history too of the slave trade and all that. Um, hey, Go Black, do you have to own property in Tanzania or Zanzibar to get a residency? No, you can get a volunteer residency. You can get a business resident. If you get a business license or a volunteer visa, these will afford you residency. What's happening? Experience Liberia.
Not much, my brother. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, congratulations, man. I want to say, job well done. Keep doing what you're doing. The family,
Oh,
we sent
thanks.
a little sticker to show support. But man, you're doing an outstanding job, and you're bringing light to the masses. They need to hear it. Need to hear it.
Thank
But
you.
I was asking you about Mozambique because the children they bought me the African ancestry DNA test for Father's Day, and I found out that my father's line came back 99.4% for
Mm,
Mozambique on the Makawa tribe. And so that's why I was trying to reach out to you and see if you've been there and linked up with anybody because we plan on going there, you know,
I'll
and
be
try.
over there in a month.
Okay, okay. So I
Mhm.
definitely do that. But man, everybody's they're leaving in droves, and not only just us, but the Europeans as well. They're feeling the heat. Nobody's
Yep,
safe. Nobody's
yep,
safe. So the
yep.
best thing, like you said, when you given this insight, and then people uh, that has never traveled are afraid to travel because of certain situations in their life, or they're not economically financial to do that, then you just putting them up where they need to be, and they need to take heed. For us, we both of us was in the military, so we've seen and we already know the cloak behind the mask. We know what they're doing. We
Yeah,
understand. So when another thing that makes me mad is like when you dropping this information and you taking time from your family, you're being a beacon of light to the people to wake up. I'm here. This is not a hoax. Of course, you're gonna have poverty everywhere. You've made it in America with poverty, so don't come on that high horse and talk about, oh, if the place is trash. You see trash every day in America.
you ain't
But when
lying.
you're telling, but what you're giving them is a better way of life, the cost of living, and like you said, the key is being that entrepreneur. You can go out there, you can change the dynamics of the things that you have learned in America, utilize those skills to your advantage, and become what you're supposed to be. Use your God given talents to bring freedom to your family from generations and generations to come
Yeah.
without dealing with this madness over here. So, but man, it's crazy. Like I said, we 1 foot in and 1 foot out. We got property in Liberia because my wife is from there. But you know, it's definitely 54 countries over there. Hey, do your research, family. Take a pick, which one you want to go to. Link up, utilize, brother. Go black to Africa. Get the knowledge. Pay the money. Stop being cheap and pay him what he's worth because he's putting in. He's on the front line for us. So that's all I wanted to say, bro. But hey, keep doing your thing, man. But I'm definitely gonna
Appreciate
hit you
it,
back.
man.
All right.
All right, brother. Yep, I thank you for that, my brother, for the kind words and all that there. And I don't deserve really a pat on the back. I think I was built to do such a thing at this moment in time, and I hope that many people will just consider just the information being put out there to have within your portfolio of knowledge that you can utilize maybe one day. Because I do believe that what goes up does come down, and each system or each country has its day. And sometimes when you see those which countries that were thriving begin to become uncomfortable to survive or live or work, there are those who come over to other places. Look at America. America's a melting pot. How many people have come in for a better opportunity, as they say, from coming from their countries? And so that doesn't mean what worked for them may not work for you. And having that other side of the house. To answer my man's question, was it easy to get a residency? Um, yes, easy to me. But let me just say this right here. In Africa, everything is easy if you know where to look. you know, it could be easy. So yeah, definitely it's easy. And those saying is not what you is not what you know, it's who you know, plays a huge part in that. But yes, I went through the place that I used in their books, um, the retirement visa. So the retirement visa gave me that residence, or it's a residence, if you will, for 2 years. So I can reside there for 2 years, and so I use that. So there's means of those things. So I didn't do anything illegal. Now the thing of it is the process and how long. Who do you know can help you into making sure that it don't take long? Well, sometimes you know how in America, if you want to get your passport back in 4 weeks, you have to pay an extra cost. It's kind of the same in Africa, except for it's not written in writing. It's just like you pay this person to pay somebody to go ahead and get that paperwork through so that you can get it. It happens in all these different places. It happens in America. So yeah, hopefully I answered your question. Do you think that resale of art to America from Africa is a good business idea? Well, I'm not in the art business. I don't know, but I'll say this right here. I've said this before. The business is predicated off of the owner. You see, the business is not a good business unless the owner is the good business person. So if you are a shady or lazy or a not go-getter and do research and do your due diligence type of person, you find those type of people, business fail. So if you're talking about doing business, you must grade your own report card in how you are as an individual. You see, some people hit the first wall and they quit. Come through the first obstacle and they feel they're low and down and they give up. There are those who will fight through that first wall, second wall, what have you, through adversity. There are those who keep an upbeat attitude. There are those who believe that nothing is going to stop them. There are those who are on the other side of that. This is why I was sharing with the young ladies today. Stop listening to people in their little miserable marriages and their relationships. That does not define it at all. Stop listening to people because they came to Africa and it was hard for them and they came back. The question of it is are you built for a journey, a business journey? Are you built for any journey that you want to embark on? We always listen to those who may not be built for various things. And here's the interesting thing. It is amazing. We gravitate towards the negative more than the positive. I got a young brother right now. I won't mention his name, but I hope that he watches this. Powerful channel, YouTube channel. And he'd been missing in action for a month. So I reached out to him and I WhatsApped him and said, yo, man, what's up, man? Does YouTube have you on lock? He says, no, man. He's questioning what he's doing based off reading some comments by a person who was, I guess I don't know what they said. He didn't say what they said. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? Are you going to allow the negativity? All the people who's giving you great uplifting words of encouragement and how well you're doing, you will let the small few stop you doing for what you're doing? So yeah, you're right. He hasn't posted yet. Why are we so quick to listen to those who are in a negative state? See, I've said this before. If you don't know that you are a good business person, you may not want to do that business. If you got to ask Is it a good business? Which I understand. I appreciate you asking me, but I get that question all the time. Will this business work in Africa? Will this be a good business? How are you as a business owner? You see, in my book, as the businesses I've ran, I didn't think about failing. It was about doing. In my book, there's no such thing as failing. The only thing in failing when it comes to business is you not doing it. Because the journey of that, no matter how long it may last, they could never take from you the experience. Do you not know whether it was Trump or any other big business person have filed bankruptcies several times until they found their niche and how to get it? If you think life is only about succeeding and successes all the time, you missed the whole message. Let me go on over here to Safe Secret. Safe Secret is coming in right here. Look, my brother.
Yes, am I audible?
I hear you loud and clear.
Oh, great, great. So,
Where you calling
my
from, my
name
brother?
actually Kampala, Uganda.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm in your hometown.
Yes, yes, my hometown.
You look like you Sudanese, though, from Sudan.
I'm actually Ugandan, but
Are you? We
yeah,
all family anyway, but yeah.
yeah, but I guess I'm Luo as well. So Luo people have like similar traits and characteristics.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
yeah, so I've been watching your videos about Kampala,
Yep.
and it's been very interesting to me. Just disclaimer as well. Like I shuttle back and forth in between the U.S. and here as well.
Okay.
But it's kind of interesting to me when I watch some of the videos to kind of
Sure.
see the ideas that different people have. And actually, in response to that, I'm actually starting up is something I have in the pipeline. It's a podcast that I'm going to be doing where I'll be partnering up with the different experts from the universities out here in Makerere and stuff like that, so that we can delve into the issues about the mindset that the people have. One of the big things down here now is feminism. Like feminism is coming in, but we've not really interrogated what that means for Africa. It's just something that people are copying because they see it as something that's cool, that the West has embraced, but they don't really know the after effects of bringing that into Africa, what that actually means. They just think it's cool. So I'm trying to get some some experts to sit down in this podcast so that we can actually break down these issues and bring it with a cultural context. So that should be coming out soon. But I've been watching all the videos that you've been doing on Kampala, and I actually think they're great.
Go ahead. You broke up a little bit.
Oh, it broke up a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I know. I was just saying that I've been watching the videos on Uganda, and I actually think they're great.
Yeah.
But actually, my question would be, what has been your takeaway from Uganda? What has been the takeaway from Uganda so far?
My takeaway from Uganda, well, let me say this right here. I just did a podcast today with 3 women, Ugandan women, on feminism today with O'Shea Duke Jackson. They recorded it, and he's going to supply that video to me, and I will be uploading that. Very interesting in the talks with the women on that, because my question to them was, are the Ugandan women embracing the Western ways of the woman? And so some good topics that some good discussions that we had today on that. So look for that video, and maybe you even be able to peel out some mentalities and some thought processes out of that video. But my thoughts of Uganda, I tell you, it's a very interesting country. I haven't been all over around it like I really want to, but I'm very surprised by Uganda. Kampala, I tell you, it's a city that I I feel very comfortable in. You know, it's a city that is, it reminds me of most major cities in America, you know, in a sense, besides all the bodas driving around. It's crazy with the motorcycle riders. They're like everywhere. But, you know, it seems like it has a pretty balanced middle class here. You know, it seems as though that there are businesses that are thriving and doing well. Um, the landscape, I mean, you know, it's not dusty like you find in, like, you know, closer out towards, you know, Tanzania was a lot more sand. Y'all got the red dirt here, you know, and the landscapes, I'm talking about the trees, it's just beautiful. The people themselves, I mean, have had no issues with anybody. Very friendly. Ugandans are very friendly, you know, and very inviting people, that I say very hardworking. I've had very little people ask me for, you know, beg from me. And I see the hustle in the spirit. I call it the drive to survive. I see that in the hearts of the people. People aren't sitting around they might complain, but they're not sitting around complaining. They got to make do of. So I see all these different things that I really, that I've been experiencing here in Uganda.
Okay, that's actually nice to hear. I just wanted to big you up real quick, and I'll jump off on that. I think there's some problem with the internet. It's kind of like breaking up on my end as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you though.
All right, my brother. I appreciate you, man, calling in. Peace and blessings to you.
Thank you.
All right. So we had a Ugandan call in and all that right there. Yeah, family. I mean, you know, out here is beautiful. I'm gonna tell you. O'Shea don't want me to say this right here. Don't be inviting everybody out here. You know, it's a gym out here. It's a gym. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, Uganda. It's a gym. It's definitely, as people say, a safe landing. It really is, you know. But really, I enjoy it. I enjoy it, you know. So yeah, for those who want to come out to Uganda, please do. You know, it's easy to get into the country. You know, I think it's you know, you have to fill out a form or what have you to get the visa, fill that out, and a process to do that. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. For those who want to come visit right there, reach out to me. I can connect you with some folks to help you in that endeavor. All right, back to some questions. Do you need a plan in case another civil war breaks out? Do you need a plan? Are you talking about civil war here? Are you talking about civil war in America? What are you talking about? You know, when it comes to civil wars, they just don't pop off. They begin to fume, and they begin to smolder, and they begin to, you know, start to take a light and begin to set a fire. And so civil unrest, it gives you enough time, like a hurricane. You know, tornadoes come out of nowhere, bam, boom, you know, but civil wars are things that really kind of take time to really build to where it gets into that. So yes, hope I answered your question. Let's see, other questions, family. We are at 1:14. I can give another 15 minutes if people want to come in. I'm putting the link in the chat. You have a question. I am an open book. I'm transparent. Please ask that question if you will. If you looking for answers, it could be any question. Believe me, this is a man, not your boy, that has 6 years of knowledge in a lot of things. Business, if you want to talk about, relationships, you want to talk about, marriages, children, grandchildren, whatever you want to talk about. Hey, there are people out here looking for some good sound advice with a balanced twist to it. Let's see, how likely is it that the problems of America can reach Africa? Oh, they're already starting in. They've been here, creeping in. I've had that conversations with many. How many schools and groceries stores do they got at Walmart? They don't have a Walmart, but I don't know how many hospitals they have or schools. Groceries are everywhere. I mean, you got food everywhere. You know what gets me, family, is how the story they tell that Africa is starving. The access to food is unbelievable. The access to food. He said Ethiopian and Somalian women are gorgeous. Yeah, all our African women, all of our African women are gorgeous. Let's see here. Other questions we have here. Please put a question mark at the end of your question or the beginning. Oh, yeah? Okay. Your 2-year-old loves my intro. I know I've had a woman send two mothers send their children's response to my Go Black to Africa. Yeah, it just brings me joy to see that. Yeah, let's see here. Is there a tax? Is there a tax on land ownership in Uganda? I'm not sure. I really haven't even gotten out to look at land or even price land. I have not done that. I will though in the near future though, because I got to come back because I want my wife to see Uganda, and to visit too as well. What triggered your deep interest for the African continent? I was born in Africa. My dad was military, so my mom and dad was over in Greece, and they because back then in the 60s, Greece did not have the hospital standards, American standards, I guess, for the military women. So they flew the pregnant mothers to Tripoli, Libya, to have their babies. So I was born in Africa. And so you can imagine as a child, my mom was only here for 2 weeks and flew back out. But growing up and knowing you was born in Africa, and you would say that to the children, you would say it to people, and it sparked an interest. And I had no knowledge of it. And people would always, how was it over there? How is it? I don't know. So that's what's always piqued me to come back to the motherland. Did you have any expectations or preconceptions before you arrived in Uganda? How different was it to what you thought it would be? Expectations are the destroyer. I just wrote that somewhere today. Oh, in an email, not an email. Yeah, to an email to somebody. Expectations destroys. I don't have those. I try not to, because yes, I do at times will hear things that goes on in countries. And sometimes I might approach or walk softly by those who may have warned me of maybe certain areas or things you might have heard on the news and stuff like that. But my experience is what I want to really explore when I get on ground in countries. Because I like I said before, stop listening to people, what they say, and get out there and find for yourself. Thanks, Bertha. I look calm and relaxed when in Tanzania and Uganda. Yeah. Let's see other questions. Hey, Miss Wog Daly, how are you doing today? Nah, people are not starving in mass in Africa. I tell you, these are crooked people who put up these fundraisers, these so-called programs, or these donation 501c3, these NGOs, these non-for-profits, and steal billions of dollars off of Africa. Billions of dollars. I have seen so many fronts of these people out here in this world come in Africa claiming they are on a project to build. They get the money, they run it, they don't even finish it. You know how many buildings I've seen of that? Oh yeah, this right here was a company who was that was going to be doing a project for such and that. This was an NGO that came here. These people make billions. There are thieves that come into Africa off the backs of our own people and make billions. In the 80s and the 90s, it was Sally Struthers who kept getting on TV, lying about Africa. Oh yeah, she made millions of dollars doing those commercials off of Africa. To this day, they still show them same babies, pop bellies, skinny legs and arms, and bald heads. And not to say that starve, there are, I would say, at a smaller percentage that are starving than the message they're trying to send out there of Africa. I see them more and more now on the YouTube. And maybe because of my channel that you seeing these bogus daggone groups out here trying to make millions and billions off of Africa. Let's see here. What kind of opportunities is there to make a living? You are the opportunity that is here to make a living. You got to put it to work, though. I told y'all, I was sharing with our brother who's from Uganda. It amazes me when I go to some of these countries in Africa, the drive to survive. It is amazing. I was sharing with my brother today when we was out. I was like, ain't no Black Americans going to be working this hard. Look, let me show y'all a video. Ain't no, this thing not going to happen. We'd rather sit on our butts and would look for government assistance in something instead of getting out here working to feed your family. Because there's many African Americans in America who are doing it, but there's a whole lot who ain't. Now I'm telling you, ain't nobody sitting around here. Very few eyes that are sitting around with their hand out, waiting for somebody to give them some money. Let me see this right here. Let me see if I can find this video right here. I want y'all to take it. This is oh my goodness. I hate looking into my video things because I got so many. Let me see here. I took this quick video because it was like, I see this a lot, but I want y'all to take a look at this right here. Here's a man, and I see this so often. That guy is carrying like how many? 2, 4, 5 huge suitcases on his head. You see men in their 60s. I'm talking pulling and pushing carts that I don't know how they get the strength. I don't know how. You will see that, and I'm gonna say this right here. When I was in Ethiopia, that is nothing. You will see a man with queen size mattresses on his head, and it'd be like 10 of them. You'd be like, how do you do that, being a small frame and walking forever? When I was in Mombasa in Kenya, down there, man, these jokers, man, I'm talking about pulling carts that is over a ton. Manual labor. Amazes me. Let's see here. So it's what's in you as far as that business concerned. You are the opportunity. There ain't no there. I when I was younger and I really got it. It is me who makes the success. It's not the business. The business is just an entity. The business is an extension of me. The business is what I pour into it. So anytime you say, oh, he's got a successful business. No, he is successful. If you're successful already, you're successful. That will pour into the very business that you do. There ain't no time for no ands, ifs, or buts about anything. It's time for you to go and do. Because your creator, the one person who asked about the art, the resale of art, will that do good right here in America? Do your homework and find out. And what is good? What is good? If you profited $1, that's $1 more than you had. To me, that's a good business. If you're not in the red and you ain't in the rear, you ain't not in the negative. If you profited $1, that's good. You know, I tell people this right here. See, I'm giving y'all some gold nuggets. Y'all can pick it up or kick it aside. I haven't said that in a while either, have I? I lost what I was going to say now. But, you know, how you look at yourself is how your business is going to run. There is no time for excuses. But I find so many people have them. When it's time to get down and dirty, very few are willing to do it. When it's time to sacrifice, very few people are willing to do it. Very few. I'm hard on my kids. I'm like, they already know. Don't ever ask me for no more money, because I'm like, if I can get out there, you know, there's 24 hours in a day. Who told you you're only supposed to work 8 hours? Who told you that? Why aren't you working 2 jobs? You only need 6 to 8 hours of sleep. So what do you do? It's amazing that we will spend time in the clubs all night long, spending money, but won't spend all night long working, making money. And this is a problem. I've said this right here. Africa is not poor. I'm telling y'all. And the most Africans I've come across and I've interviewed and I've talked to those who've reached the success, started with nothing, didn't have a silver spoon in their mouth. I have come to believe Africa's problem and Black people's problem is the fact they don't manage money and don't know how to budget. But you're gonna have people come up with excuses. Well, you know, the white man and the system and all that right there. Well, but what are you doing in that system though? You're working only 8 hours a day? What? Well, you know, Go Black. Believe me, I get the emails all day long. Go Black, you know, I mean, I don't really have much extra money, and you know, because people always want something for nothing. And you know, then I hear, you know, I'm a senior, I'm on limited income, and you know, who told you you were a senior? Why ain't you working? Who told you you can retire at 62? Who told you that? It ain't no time to be taking breaks to get yourself ahead. But this is what we do though, family. This is what we do. Can you imagine if you're married, if it's just you, let's say if you're single, because I was single and then I got married and then I was working jobs. Can you imagine how you're living now with one job? If you sacrifice and work 2 jobs and put all that money there to put away for your freedom papers. Can you imagine that a couple, both of them worked 2 jobs and did that for a stint of time? How much money they can put for their freedom papers away? There's some people who want it and there's some people who don't. I mean, I'm serious. Love you too, Colin. Appreciate that. We got 5 more minutes, maybe. I guess I'll give 5 more minutes if there are any questions. Many live with tomorrow ain't promised, man. Many live with the tomorrow ain't promised madness. Look, I'm gonna tell you this right here. Let me tell you this. I tell people I'm a gambling man. I'm gambling. When I was back then busting my tail, I was betting that I'm going to live tomorrow. What I find most Africans and Black folk is that we only live for today, and we only live for ourselves. We don't even think about our children. We do. We don't think about ourselves. We don't think about how can I position my children in a better situation than what I had to start off at? How do I develop them and teach them becoming their own boss or business, or not being so dependent on a system? What is your favorite country in Africa so far? I don't have favorites. To have a favorite is to have a disregard for another, which then places you being biased from your own personal bias, prejudice. So each have its own to give, its pros, its cons, if you want to call it pros or cons, but it's really its own ways of doing things, its own cultures, its own economies. They're all different. Just like here, growing up in the US can be a disadvantage. We only see one system. We feel like America made us versus the other way around. I'm going to tell you this right here. It's both ways. Growing up in America, there's advantages and there are disadvantages. I was talking to a sister yesterday, and she was, we were talking, and we got on language and stuff, and she was talking about, she asked me a question, and she said, Can you say something in another language? And I said, hello. And she said, are you making fun of me trying to sound like how we sound here in Uganda? I said, no, I'm not making fun of you at all. I have a disadvantage. I'm saying to you, that's the only language I speak. And I said, how many languages do you speak? She said 7. Most Africans speak 5 or more languages. That's but there's an advantage, though. Of course, coming from America, there's many advantages and disadvantages in America, just like there's advantages and disadvantages in Africa. Any idea on when you will reschedule the Ghana tour? I'm waiting on Ghana to come off of that daggone vaccine requirement. Because I'm not going to get people it's going to be hard to find people to come to it. I have a question. Okay, what's your question? What if you make all this money and right when it's time to enjoy it, you die? What did your work on this earth mean? 2-part question. That is a very good question. Now, think about what you're saying. I told you before, I don't live off of but, ands, ifs, or buts, or ifs and buts. I don't live off of that. What if you die? Okay, if you die, did you set your finances in order to place over into your loved ones? Because what I'm doing now, it ain't for me. It's for my kids. Me going around and purchase property and doing over here in Africa, doing this right here, and maybe starting some other business stuff like that. Do you think that's for me? I'm 56 years old, retired. I don't need another penny. I don't need another dime. I'm very well taken care of. But I can at least prepare things for my children to enjoy. I'm enjoying. Who said that you can't enjoy? There must be a balance. I told you the 70-30% rule. 70% you live off of, 30% you save for that opportunity, for that money to make money for you. I guarantee you, if you do your budgeting, you're going to find that you can even put more than 30% away. And you don't have to start at 30% because the more people are more in debt that they're like, I can't start off on 30%. Start off with 5. Because I guarantee you, when you start to see the money start to increase, you will be motivated to even save more. So what you're going to do, you're going to dig into your spending, and then you're going to turn around and say, I really don't even need that. Because here in Africa, these youth here living in the city, see, I like what my man say, fake rich. I said, y'all want to look like, talk like, walk, act, dress like black Americans. And guess what? For the most part, you're broke like black Americans for the most part. Fake rich. You want to look rich, but ain't got nothing in the bank for emergencies. You got nothing to free you from working for the rest of your life. We want to consume and just show out for everybody. I likes to walk around. Look, I tell people I don't wear name brands, things. Please, you think I'm gonna make these jokers out here richer? I know I gotta wear clothes and somebody's making money off it, but do you think I'm gonna spend $200, $400, $500, $1,000 on shoes or pants or a shirt with somebody's stamped name across my chest, me advertising for them to go make more money? You can have that. I'm sorry. They don't give a hoot about me and they're not bringing me money. Why would I want to bring them money? I did it for many years when I was young. Other questions? Let me see here. $2,000 per month, right? Oh, you must be talking to somebody else. Yeah, I mean, I'm past that. Look, this is what I wear. This is what I wear right here. Look, I don't even know what these are. I don't know what they are. They do the job. Gets me all walking around. I ain't paying no Nike's money to go wear some Nike to make them jokers richer. You gotta be out of your silly rabbit mind. There ain't no way. I'm sorry. I did that before. But my thing is that I have come to a place to realize I was making other people richer and not invested in myself. All right, family. I'm calling it in. There's no more questions out here. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Hope that I helped in this, help you all, those who are looking for those answers, what have you. Some gold nuggets that I dropped there, I hope. But there again, Washington Post, please go in the link of Washington Post. Let me put that back in here. Y'all go check it out. They got your man that they wound up mentioning in the Washington Post, GoBlack2Africa. And so I put the link here in the chat for you all who's come in late. Read on that of the article that the Washington Post did of our people leaving America. You know, when mainstream media and journalisms get into these subject matters, that means we're making an impact. We've created a movement or piqued an interest in those who are saying, what's going on? There's something going on. There's in the YouTube community of Black expats or repats or whatever, there's this something happening. Black folk going to Africa. And they got a long article on that. So the link is in there. Read that Washington Post. Hey, for you all who are subscribers, it's because of you that we got mentioned in the Washington Post. I'm thankful for that we were recognized, because my thing is that we should show the world we have a other place. even just as better of a place to come to for those who want to make it their home, or those who choose to invest in, those who choose to come and just, and whether it's just enjoy and visit and, you know, to do vacation, what have you. We can do whatever we want. And when coming into Africa, and I'm telling y'all, it's not like any other. This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa.